Hey, Mike. What's going on, man?
Hey, Clark, how are you?
Good.
Just the man I want to see. I could
Awesome.
really use your help.
I would love to help.
Hey, have a seat.
Okay.
So, Clark, I have this big idea, really big idea. Have you heard of the college playoff?
Who hasn't? I
Yes,
mean, it's
people
everywhere.
are talking about that. And this
Yeah.
is the first year they've taken 4 teams and they've decided which one of those teams is going to go to the national championship game.
Yeah.
And that's caused, as you know, a lot of conversation, a lot of controversy. People really engaged in this conversation about who is the top.
A lot of emotions.
Yes, yes. So I was thinking what better way to generate interest in Hope in the City announcements than having our very first HITC announcement playoff.
All right. Sounds cool. So how does it work?
Well, you know how different ministry areas submit their announcements?
Yeah,
and then you and I
week.
announce it every week.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's going to work in a similar way, except after people submit their announcements, you and I are going to decide what the top 4 announcements are. And to answer the ultimate question, what's the most important announcement at Hope in the City?
Okay.
So there's a criteria of how we rank these different announcements.
Okay.
And let's just go through the announcements today.
Okay, well,
and
the
I'll
Women's
explain that.
Retreat. Women's Retreat's coming up January 30th through February 1st. It's high school age and up women. And registration's open. They can register online or in the foyer. So women should go ahead and do that today.
Yes. This is the last Sunday we're taking up an offering for an orphanage in Indonesia called King's Kids. We're really excited about blessing these kids with not only Christmas presents, but school supplies and clothing for the year. If you have your donation, today's the last day, please drop it off and you'll see a bucket and a display in the foyer. All right, Clark, who submitted that announcement about the orphanage in Indonesia?
Oh, Trudy.
Okay, so one of our criteria is what I'm calling the body of work, the full body of work.
Okay.
So you take an announcement from someone like Trudy.
Yeah.
And how long has Trudy been on staff at
Oh,
Hope in
gosh,
the
from the
City?
beginning.
From the beginning,
Yeah.
okay. So we're looking at all of Trudy's announcements over time, how well attended those events are, how many people are engaged, and then that's going to be one of our factors as we decide where to put that announcement in our playoff ranking system.
Okay. The next one is for December 21st and 28th. We're going to need some volunteers to help us to help serve for those 2 Sunday services. We're going to need extra volunteers, parking attendants, greeters, you name it. And so if you're going to be here on the 21st or 28th and you'd be willing to serve on one of those or both Sundays, you can email serve@hopeinthecity.org or contact Lisa.
Okay, and that brings us to our second criteria, Clark, and that is strength of schedule.
Okay.
So we know that Christmas is a really busy time.
Yeah.
People are here, there, everywhere, they're traveling. So those 2 Sundays are really important. So that's going to be a factor as we look at the packed schedule of Christmas season, how many people are likely to come and help volunteer. And we're going to factor that in as we go through and decide where to put that announcement.
Okay.
You see how that works?
I see. It's
okay.
Yep.
Our next announcement, we're really excited about this. Right at the beginning of the month of January, as a church, we want to come together and seek God, a season of prayer and fasting. That will be January 4th through the 10th. Every day at noon, we'll have a special prayer time here at Hope in the City. And at the end of that fasting week, on a Saturday night, we're going to come together for a meal and celebrate all that God spoke and did, and just go into the new year just seeking God.
The last announcement is the children's ministry is having what they call a clean sweep. So basically it's January the 3rd, that's a Saturday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And they're going to be going through the children's ministry area, putting pieces back together, fixing things that need to be fixed, putting things back in cabinets, just getting everything ready for the new year. And Trudy's going to provide lunch for everyone. And so email Trudy@hopeinthecity.org if you're available to help with the clean sweep.
Okay, now that brings me to our last criteria, Clark, and this probably could be the most controversial. I noticed you said Trudy submitted this announcement.
Yeah, that's our second one.
So that's 2 announcements from the children's ministry area.
Yeah.
Okay. Our third criteria is the ministry area championship. So the ministry area decides which one of their announcements is the most important, and they submit it to us, the selection committee. And they have got to be willing to say which one is the true champ.
What if they can't make up their mind?
If there's not one true champion of that area, then that's going to hurt them. That could drop them all the way down to number 5 or 6 if they're not willing to say who the championship is. That's going to be the controversial part.
That might hurt some feelings.
It will. So I got to be honest, Clark. This is going to take a lot of time, a lot of effort. And as you and I pour over this, and then we, every Sunday at 10:15, we announce the top 4. And then people the next day, they're going to be like angry. They got left out in the cold. It's not fair. How could that announcement not make the top 4? So this could cost friendships. This is going to be, and a lot of time too.
And we're sure we want to do this.
Yes, and we'll reserve time. We'll go off site. We'll pour over the data every week, and then it'll be that build, that crescendo of excitement as we announce the top 4 every Sunday at 10.
I think I'd be willing to give about 15 minutes of my week to this.
Okay, I don't know if that's going to be enough.
Okay, so Mike, what I don't understand is, so when we have 2 announcements to compete for the championship, how are announcements going to compete?
Oh, how do announcements themselves after we've done the rankings?
Yes.
Well, that is that's the part I haven't figured out yet.